Hello and welcome. In this video we are discussing about SAP ABAP Native SQL overview. So the term Native SQL refers to all statements that can be statically transferred to the native SQL interface of the database interface. Native SQL statements do not fall within the language scope of ABAP and do not follow the ABAP syntax. ABAP merely contains the statements for isolating program sections in which native SQL statements can be listed. Application programs, ABAP Dictionary, R3 system programs, Native SQL, OpenSQL. Native SQL module, OpenSQL modules, table module, buffer management, database interface, database specific layer, standard SQL, dynamic embedded and relational database. In native SQL, mainly database-specific SQL statements can be used. These are transferred unchanged from the native SQL interface to a database system and executed. The full SQL language scope of the relevant database can be used and the addressed database tables do not have to be declared in the ABAP dictionary. There is also a small set of SAP-specific native SQL statements that are handled in a specific way by native SQL interface. To use a native SQL statement, you have to precede it with exe SQL statement and end with end exe statement. Exe SQL performing form native SQL statement end exe. These statements define an area in an ABAP program where one or more native SQL statements can be listed, and the statements are passed to the native SQL interface and then processed as follows. All SQL statements that are valid for the program interface of the addressed database system can be listed between exec and end exec. In particular, the DDL, data definition language statements. These SQL statements are passed from the native SQL interface to the database system largely unchanged, and the syntax rules are specified by the database system, especially the case sensitivity rules for database objects. If the syntax allows a separator between individual statements, you may include many native SQL statements between exec and end exec. SAP-specific native SQL language elements can be specified between exec and end exec, and these statements are not passed directly from the native SQL interface to the database, but they are transformed appropriately. Example: SPFLI is a standard SAP table that is used to store flight schedule information, and this is available within the R3 SAP systems depending on the version and release level. And you can view this information when you enter the table name SPFLI into the relevant SAP transaction such as SE11 or SE80. You can also view the data contained in the database table by using these two transactions. Report is set a demo native _SQL data begin of WA con ID type SPFLI-con ID, city from type SPFLI-city from, city to type SPFLI-city to end of WA. Data C1 type SPFLI-char ID value LH. exec SQL performing loop out_output. Select con ID city from, city to into WA from SPFLI where char ID equal to C1. End exec form loop output write /WA-con ID W-city from WA-city to end form. And the above code produces the output 0400 Frankfurt, New York, 2402 Frankfurt, Berlin, 0402 Frankfurt, New York. So this was a brief discussion on SAP ABAP Native SQL. Thanks for watching this video. Bye for now.